All right, so this grouping or this unit itself kind of starts off unusual because we've bounced around a lot already. You know, we've gone from plotting coordinate pairs to uh, the distance formula to the midpoint formula, and now we're going back to graphing and finding x and y intercepts. And the reason is because we have certain standards that we need to cover, and so we've just kind of thrown some of these topics inside of the second unit, and then we'll get back on track where there'll be a lot more adhesiveness to the lesson. So in this case right here, talking about x and y intercepts, what we want to make sure we have is obviously the stuff you see on the screen here in your little sketch, your little diagram you're drawing in your notes. Hit pause as needed. Okay, I'm going to kind of move forward with my thing, and you hit pause, rewind as needed, remember. So if we want to find an or a y-intercept, excuse me, if you notice that any ordered pair on the y-axis, the x portion is going to be equal to 0. So to be able to find a y-intercept, that means that we're going to let x be equal to 0. Same thing if we want to find an x-intercept, you'll notice that any x-intercept that we have, any point on an x-axis, the y value will always be 0. So if you want to find an x-intercept, we let y be equal to 0. So let's go apply that. So here we go. We got a couple different situations here. I'm actually going to take this guy as my example, and then you guys should just work on solving things in your homework. So we want to find our x-intercept. To find our x-intercept, we wrote down our little notes. We're going to let y be equal to 0. So I go ahead and come over here, and I got 9x plus 8 times 0 equals 72. When we simplify that, we get 9x. That turns into 0, or basically goes away, and that we get 72. So x is equal to 8. That means that my y-intercept occurs at 8, 0. Excuse me, my x-intercept occurs at 8, 0. Now if I want to go do my y-intercept, and I would really recommend that when you're writing this out, when you're doing this, that you actually write this out several times when you're practicing, because it'll help you memorize the process. And so we plug the x equals 0 in, so that'd be 9 times 0 plus 8y is equal to 72. Some good housekeeping here. That turns to 0. I bring down my 8y is equal to 72. I divide by 8, and I get y equals 9, which means that my y-intercept occurs at 0, 9. So when graphing that, I'll just go ahead and take my points. I'll plot 8, 0. So come over, draw a dot at 8, 0. I'll go to 0, 9, draw a dot. I'll use the line tool. In this point in my math lab, the line tool will already be going, and you'll just connect those two dots. So that's how we find the x-intercept and y-intercept of, could be anything. Could be a linear function, could be of a quadratic function, just anything we come across, that's our strategy.